Hi guys, can you see me and hear me clearly?
Yes.
Hello, yes.
Hello, great. So we'll start today's session. Sit comfortably wherever you are. Keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. Just start observing your breath. Stay connected to the pure breath. Don't make any changes. Gently shift your attention to your body. Become aware of your posture. Adjust your body and make sure that in your final pose you are correctly aligned, comfortable, and stable. Now gently come back to your breathing. Begin to consciously deepen your breath. Slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. Relax your mind and prepare yourselves for chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. Take a deep inhalation for Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibrations. Join your palms together and begin to rub your palms together. Keep your palms on your eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes, coming back with a big smile on your face. Om Shanti. Namaste to everyone. Let us begin today's session. So today, from yesterday, we have started the pranayam practices, and today we are going to cover another pranayam practice, and this practice is called Bhastrika. So we are currently covering the practices which are actually generating heat in the body. Okay. So today's topic is Bhastrika Pranayam. Bhastrika. In English, this is called Bellows Breath. Bellows Breath. So the term Bhastrika literally means bellows. So you would have seen that a blacksmith, in order to, uh, increase the fire or keep the fire sustained, they use something, right, in order to blow some air into that fire, right? And as a consequence of blowing the air, um, all of us know that oxygen is required to maintain the fire, right? So because they blow the air in a specific manner, the fire in that thing, it increases, right? So that is why this pranayam is called Bhastrika, because the way in which we are going to breathe, it's going to be very similar to the way in which the blacksmith blows the bellows, right? So the um, speed of the breath, basically, it's going to be like that. And as a result and consequence, in the physical world, we can see that the fire, it increases. And when we see, if in terms of our own body, when we do the Bhastrika breathing, the fire in the body, you can say the heat in the body, it increases, right? And second thing that happens as an immediate consequence, which also happens in the case of the fire, is that the oxygen level increases, right? So when you do Bhastrika breathing, the oxygen level in the body, it goes up, right, because of the pace of the practice of Bhastrika, right? So I'll explain this more deeply, but first, let me demonstrate the practice itself, because it will be easier to understand. And this practice has multiple variations. So I am teaching you from the Hatha Yogic texts. So that will become your basis for this practice. And you can, practice other variations also. There is no difficulty or problem, but I will be teaching you the traditional styles only, right? So Bhastrika breathing, it's done using your chest region. So you will find techniques which are also done using the abdominal region, but the one that I'm teaching, it will use the chest primarily. The primary place where the breathing is taking place, it's through the chest. And the practice of Bhastrika, it's a combination of the way in which you're breathing. And then at the end, there is one round of Surya Bhedan. So this one round of Surya Bhedan, yesterday the practice that we covered, right? So inhale through the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. So when you finish Bhastrika, you go for one round of Surya Bhedan Pranayam. And that is how you close the practice. So this is the original practice given in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, right? So let me just write down. So when we were doing Kapalbhati, we were making the exhalations forceful, right? So now what we are doing, first thing from Kapalbhati, we are changing the area of the breath. Okay, so in Kapalbhati, we mostly we use the abdomen and exhale forcefully through the abdominal region. Now we are coming to the chest, and we are having both the inhalation and the exhalation uh, forceful, right? So, first characteristic feature of this pranayam is both the inhalation and exhalation are forceful in nature. Okay, so first thing you need to know, inhalation and exhalation is forceful, plus one round of Surya Bhedan at the end. Okay, so before I demonstrate, there is another thing. So in case of Kapalbhati, like I said this thing before also, in the case of Kapalbhati also, there are different paces. I told you guys this thing. There's a slow pace, then there is a medium pace, and then there is a fast pace. So Bhastrika and Kapalbhati both are generally demonstrated at a very fast pace, but you can go ahead and choose the one which is the best for you. Okay, you can go at a slow pace. You can also move towards a medium pace rather than directly starting with the fast pace. And then final advanced practice is the fast pace. Okay, so be careful of this thing, because a lot of people, what they do is they start with the fast pace, and because they don't do it correctly, and then the pace is so fast, both the things combined, so the pace also influences the quality of your practice, because they are not ready for that fast pace and still they are doing it, right? So they end up causing a lot of side effects, because Bhastrika is a very fast practice in its nature, right? So the results also show up very quickly, right? So now if I'm doing the practice fast and I'm not doing it correctly, then the results of this incorrection, they show up in the form of some kind of symptom showing up on your body, right? So Bhastrika, again, this is one pranayam which is not for everybody. Okay, you have to be fit, healthy, and you have to have the stability in body, right? And the pace of the breath, because it is at a very high level, right? It's again not for everyone. You have to be careful. Even healthy practitioners, they sometimes end up developing the symptoms which are often incorrect practice. So even healthy people who start doing Bhastrika, they should start with a slow pace. They should get comfortable at that pace, move to a medium pace, and then advance into a high pace, fast pace. Okay, so for the sake of understanding, I will demonstrate the slow pace and I will also demonstrate the fast pace. Okay, so fast pace, I think if you are already aware of Bhastrika, you would have seen the fast pace only. But still, for the sake of your understanding, I will demonstrate both of them. Whichever one you like better, you can go ahead and begin with that. Okay, so I'll just, for the sake of you seeing the practice, I will keep one hand on my chest so that you can see that the movement is taking place in the chest. And then I will go for one round of Surya Bhedan at the end to close my practice. Okay. So again, you have to be in a sitting position and your body has to be stable. And you should have already done some amount of deep breathing where your breath is prepared for the pranayama, right? You can say this was slow pace. You can even go slower than this. If you feel you want to go at a slower pace, you can go for. Okay. Again, try to keep the inhalations and exhalations equal, but you can slow down even this pace. Okay. Now I'll go for one round of fast practice and then I will elaborate more on what are the side effects, what you have to avoid, what are the precautions that should be there, right, when you are doing Bhastrika Pranayama. Okay. Okay. So this was very fast pace, but you have to be ready and prepared for this kind of pace. So I would say in the beginning, start with a pace which you really find comfortable for yourself, because your job in Bhastrika is not to beat anybody or go for a very, very fast kind of pace. Your job when you learn Bhastrika or when you practice Bhastrika for your own practice, it is to find the correct pace, go along with it so that you get, and with time you will be able to reach a stage where you are going for fast practice. Okay. So in this way, when you go more slowly, when you take a slow approach, you know that when you reach the fast pace of the pranayam, you are at least at the correct, you're doing the uh, pranayam correctly, the technique is correct. You can be very confident of this thing. If you go for a fast pace in the beginning only, you will not be confident that your technique is correct, right? And being a teacher, it's very important, or even for your personal practice, it is very important that you don't end up harming your body, right? You can harm your body. So yoga is very you know uh, open in this way. You can say, I don't know, I'm not finding the right term. You can go wrong about it as well, and you can do it correctly, right? But most of us, because we are trying to copy, we don't know what the actual technique is, right? So I would highly recommend that you start with a slow pace. Now, like Kapal Bhati, you saw that this is also a very, very extensive kind of practice. So first thing, there should be stability in your body. If your body is moving, right, when you are doing this breathing, then again, it's not going to do you very good, right? Your body has to be stable. Your face should also be relaxed. If your face is like this, at all the time, that, oh, you are stressing the face too much, then again, it is not correct. Your shoulders should also remain stable only. Of course, there is some movement that is taking place, so there you will see some impact on the shoulders also, but not too much, right? So for some people, when they take the breath in, they move their shoulders up consciously, then they move their shoulders down consciously. So this is not the target, this is not the aim. The aim is to keep the body stable and relaxed at the same time. So these are very common errors that you will see that most people you will teach, they will do these errors. Okay, so it's very important that you introduce them to the practice in such a way where they can feel comfortable to find their own pace. Now, like I said, it's a fast practice. Even the slow practice is quite fast in its nature, right? It is more than, if I take 14 respirations in 1 minute, then the practice of Bhastrika in a slow pace will at least have more than 15, right? So, because of this nature of the practice, there are a lot of things that might begin to show up on the body. So first thing is there might be sweating. Okay, it's quite common. People who practice Bhastrika, they experience sweating. Sweating is a consequence of the practice. Okay, because when you do Bhastrika, you flush out a lot of toxins from the body. And you know, sweating is a mechanism of the body of taking out toxins. So, sweating is common in Bhastrika, but unusual sweating is problematic. Okay, means you are not doing the practice properly. You might also end up feeling dizzy when you do this practice, or your students end up feeling dizzy. Again, because the oxygen level in the body increases when you do Bhastrika, right? So there is little bit dizziness that does come in for a beginner. Okay, eventually it fades away. But if the dizziness is too much, right? So I'm practicing Bhastrika and I feel very dizzy. Means again I'm not doing the practice correctly. If you feel any kind of vomiting sensation, again you are not doing Bhastrika correctly. People who go for fast pace, they also end up expelling the toxins from their body. But then because they are not ready for that pace, it's one extreme jump to the other extreme jump for the body. Okay, so that is why also I said that don't put your body through this thing. Go for the pace which is good for your body, so that it's not going into the other extreme. Already the rate of the respiration, it has increased when you do Bhastrika, right? So you have to be careful, especially in this practice. So let's come to the contraindications, and then we will discuss the benefits of this practice. Okay. So contraindications, who cannot go for this practice? As you can see, it's quite extensive in nature. So heart patients, it's big no, right? High BP, big no. Then hernia, ulcers, gastric ulcers. In the case of vertigo, because again, it's very fast movement, so vertigo might get triggered because of this practice. Vertigo, and then hernia, ulcers, your high BP, heart patients, even people, I would say, who have, anxiety, for them also be careful when you are giving them this practice. Now, apart from these people, even though Bhastrika is a very good practice for respiratory kind of disorders, especially when it is done with the abdomen, right? So right now my main focus and movement was through the chest, but when done with the main focus or the movement of the abdomen, Bhastrika is very good for people who have respiratory disorders. But again, you have to be very careful. You have to be with that person when you are guiding them. And in case of tuberculosis also, if it has happened, then not at that time, not for some time after this thing, but after a year or so, you can start introducing this practice, but again under utmost care and under constant guidance, you can give this practice to people. Okay, any doubts, queries, issues so far?
Yes, I have a question. You said that we could make Surya Bedana after Bhastrika. Is Surya Bedana the same like Nadi Shodhana and nostril breathing? I can't get the difference, or are they only similar? Because I've seen a video on Instagram with you, and you explain Surya Bedana, and I thought it was Nadi Shodhana, but I can't get the difference between the both.
Okay. So Nadi Shodhana is a practice which, is altering between both the nostrils and in a very specifically designed manner. Okay. But Surya Bhedan is a practice which is only doing a part of the Nadi Shodhana practice, and its purpose is totally different. So yesterday's class was on Surya Bhedan. Surya Bhedan is just one breath. Okay. You
Okay.
inhale through the right side and you exhale through the left side. This is one round of Surya Bhedan.
Okay.
Nothing else. Okay. But if
Okay.
at alternate nostril breathing, you will see that first thing we start from the left side and we inhale, then the
Mm.
exhalation is done from the other side, alternate, right?
Okay.
Then
Yes.
you exhale. When you have exhaled fully through the right side, you again inhale through the right side and then you exhale through the left side. So we are taking two breaths
Mm.
in
Okay.
alternate nostril breathing and we are changing the nostril.
Okay.
But Surya Bhedan is very simple. So for today, what information you require is just this: when you finish your practice,
Mm-hmm.
inhale through the right side and exhale through the left side. This is the practice of Surya Bhedan.
Okay, then I get it because I know Radishotna, but Surya Bedana I can't
Mhm.
get. Okay, then okay,
So you can
perfect.
also watch yesterday's class. It is
Mhm.
uploaded on YouTube. So it's a
Mhm.
long class on Surya Bhedan only, what it
Okay,
is, how we do it, and benefits. Everything is in that class. So you can also go ahead and watch
yes,
that section for deeper understanding.
okay, then I will do it. Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other questions, queries, doubts?
If in case of cough, if occasionally during practice want to cough, I should cough or what?
You,
Suspend
coughing
practice
is
and cough.
happening.
Yes.
Okay. So Bhastrika is a great practice. It will help you get free from this, especially if there is mucus, etc., involved in your cough right now. So if you're coughing, it's okay. It will break your practice, but you have to try not to, because originally in the practice you have to do it normally only. But if it is happening right now, try to control the coughing, and if you are unable to, then it's okay. You have to, uh, this is the body's response, you can say. Right now maybe you are still recovering, so it's okay if the coughing is happening, but you have to try to stop that thing. Eventually your body will get used to it. So today this practice will seem very new, but eventually you will see that you are getting used to the practice, so it's okay. Your main task is try to keep it as much under check as possible. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let me come to the benefits and then we are going to go for the practice. So Bhastrika has a lot of benefits. Okay. So first thing, like I was addressing in the beginning only, the number of breaths that you take in a minute, it has increased now, which means that by default of increasing the number of breaths per minute, you are acquiring more oxygen. Okay. So suppose now I'm taking 20-25 breaths in a minute, right? So what is happening? Inhale is also increasing, right? So oxygen that is acquired by my body, it goes up, and the carbon dioxide that is removed from the body, that also goes up. So carbon dioxide levels reduce and oxygen levels increase in the body. Hence, it is a great practice for you to flush out toxins. That is why you even begin to sweat. Okay. One reason is this, and second, this comes in the category of heating pranayams. So when you do this practice, your body, the temperature, it increases. If it's at a certain level right now, then after the practice of Bhastrika, it will go up. Okay. So it increases the heat in the body. Hence, during winters, this pranayam, it's going to give you a very good kind of impact and immediate sense of warmth in the body. Now, Bhastrika is one pranayam which is said to, balance all the doshas. So, Vat, Pitta, and Kaph, right? All the doshas, they get balanced because of the practice of Bhastrika pranayam. When you do Bhastrika, there is a particular movement in the diaphragm, be it from the chest or the abdomen, it doesn't matter. The diaphragm is any which way moving, right? So when the diaphragm is getting this kind of movement, not the normal involuntary breathing, then the diaphragm is moving up and down. But this is, you see, the practice is quite rigorous. So the movement of the diaphragm also takes place in a certain way. So because of this, there is good massaging and stimulation. right, of the internal organs, right, especially the ones that are really close and directly connected with the diaphragm, right, and then all the others, because there is a movement, they are getting indirect stimulation, right. Bhastrika is a great practice if, sorry, to increase the digestion also. So it makes the digestion much better. And if you come down to the mental kind of mental benefits of Bhastrika, you will see this thing that Bhastrika, brings about activeness in the mind, right? And not that kind of activeness which goes here and there, right? Bhastrika, this practice is designed in such a way that even though the mind becomes active, it becomes one pointed at the same time, right? So when you do Bhastrika, after that, you will experience some moments of just, silence, you can say, right? Because when you do something, have you ever observed when you do some cardio exercise or some that kind of practice also, after you are done with that kind of practice, your mind is completely blank, right? So in that same way, Bhastrika, when you do the breathing at this kind of pace, there comes a point where the mind becomes very, very stable, right? Hence, Bhastrika is done before meditation. A lot of people, they sit in meditation after doing Bhastrika pranayam because it forms a great way to, just manage the clutter of the mind, right? And come to a very stable kind of state, right? So concentration and focus are byproducts of this practice, Bhastrika. So these are like only a few benefits. Each and every pranayam has multiple benefits, and there are a lot of researches also that are being done these days on the impact of pranayams in general on the health related issues, right? So you can always look into those which pranayams are helping which disease, and you can also prepare your protocol accordingly. Bhastrika is a good practice to give in the beginning, right? So pranayams, why am I covering pranayams in this sequence only? Because when you do asan, after that it's okay for you to go for some more heating practices. When you do asans, your body gets warm, right? So then when you do heating pranayams, they are just they fit perfectly, right? And in the end, you can go for cooling and tranquilizing pranayam, so that when your students or you go uh, step out of your mat, right, when you go for your normal day, you are also very stable and you have regained all of the energy that you lost during the practice, right? So yoga will never tire you, right, if done correctly. So the difference between all other forms of exercise and yoga is this thing only, that people, they regain, right, their strength, and they in fact feel more energized after the classes. So you can close your classes with cooling and tranquilizing pranayams, which we will cover in the upcoming classes. And in the beginning only, you can give such practices like Surya Bhedan and Bhastrika, so that that energy which you got flowing during asana practice, you can channel that into the pranayam practices, right? So any questions, doubts, queries?
No, thank you.
Okay. Was that a no or was that a yes?
No, no, thank you.
Okay.
I think about something, but there's no doubt. Everything is good. No, no
Sure.
doubt. Everything is good.
All right, great. So let's step into the practice itself and see what kind of impact, whatever I have said. Now we will become Gyan Yogis, right? And we will see through our own experience, is it true or not? Okay. So sit comfortably, keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. Now start observing your breath. Just connect with the natural flow of your breathing as you inhale and as you exhale. Gently shift your attention to your body, stabilize your body, and adjust the body so that you are correctly aligned. Gently come back to your breath and begin to deepen your breathing. Take a few deep breaths before we begin with our first practice. We'll begin with our first practice. You can place one hand on your abdomen or you can keep your hands relaxed. Exhale completely. Contract your abdomen in. Begin to inhale. Feel your abdomen rise and expand. As you exhale, contract your abdomen. And continue this practice, the practice of abdominal breathing. Inhale abdomen out, exhale abdomen in. Keep each inhalation and each exhalation equal. Keep your mind focused on the movement of your abdomen. After your next exhalation, completely suspend the practice of abdominal breathing. If you've placed one hand on your abdomen, you can remove that hand, relax your hand. And keeping your back and neck straight, simply observe the natural flow of your breathing and see the change. Keeping the back and neck straight, prepare yourself for the practice of Anulom Vilom. With your right hand, form the preferable mudra. You can fold the first two fingers or place them on the eyebrow center, whichever is more suitable for you. Exhale fully. Close the right nostril and begin to inhale through the left nostril. Now close your left nostril after inhalation, open the right nostril and exhale fully. After a full exhalation, directly go into the process of inhalation through the right nostril. And now close the right nostril, open the left nostril and exhale fully. This forms one round of the practice. Go ahead and continue this practice. Go for a few more rounds. Try to gain more and more control with each passing breath. Complete one last round and then suspend your practice. Simply observe the changes induced by your practice. Keeping your back and neck straight, body comfortable. Make the body stable. We are going to practice Bhastrika anywhere between 15 to 20 rounds. We can begin with that. We're only going to go for one cycle. Prepare yourselves. Keep the body stable. And after your next exhalation, begin to inhale and exhale forcefully and see what pace is suiting you the best. If a fast pace is suiting you better, you can go ahead with that. Just make sure that there is full expansion and full contraction of the chest, and both of them are taking equal time. After 15 to 20 rounds, suspend the practice. Form the preferable mudra with the right hand. Inhale through the right nostril. And after you complete your inhalation, close the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. And just close your practice. Relaxing your hand, keeping the back and neck straight. If you are still continuing with your breaths, that is also completely fine. At the end, you can close the practice with one round of Surya Breathing. Feel the impact of your practice after you finish it. You can keep your focus on your chest region. Keeping your back and neck straight, we are going to close today's session by chanting Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Take a deep breath in for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just feel the vibrations that have been produced by the chanting. Let's join our palms together and gently bow down. We'll take a few moments in our day for a sense of gratitude. Now begin to rub your palms together. Keep them on your eyes. We will do this 2 more times. Rub your palms together. Place them on your eyes. One last time, rub the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. And now, very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palm, begin to open up your eyes, coming back with a beautiful smile on your face. Om Shanti. Namaste to everyone. Any doubts, any queries, any difficulties when you did the practice?
I wanted to ask, is it done correctly if I hear the sound while exhalation, so sound of, I don't know, maybe from diaphragm?
Yes, yes. In this practice, because the inhalation and exhalation is very forceful, so there is a sound, right? So when even I was taking the Bhastrika, like when I was demonstrating, there was a sound, right? So, right. So I have to, the sound remains because the force with which you have to take in the breath and expel out the breath, that is there. So this sound will remain during this practice.
But during exhalation, it's like maybe additional sound, like not from the nose, maybe exactly, but somewhere, maybe diaphragm, or I don't know.
Diaphragm, from the diaphragm, there is sound.
I don't know.
Might be from your throat. That is possible.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because see, in Ujjayi breathing, we make this sound of taking the, like when we exhale, we create the sound from the throat, right? So that sometimes happens that both these practices get mixed because you are right now just beginning, right? So you don't have a lot of control where the sound is coming from, right? But the main force is from here only. And when you are drawing in the breath, the force for drawing in is from the chest. Okay, so if there is still sound from the back of your throat, again, don't worry about it. All you have to do is remove, just move your attention to here, right, rather than constantly trying to focus that the sound should not come from my throat. That will take a lot of effort also, and then you will be constantly focused on what you don't want to do, right? Rather than that, focus on the nose and the chest only. Mainly the focus remains on the chest. This thing will get corrected on its own, right? But just keep a check. You should be aware that the sound where it is coming from. So in fact, next time you sit and practice, just see where the sound is coming from, because diaphragm, the sound cannot come from the diaphragm, right? It can come from here. It can come from the throat, definitely. So next time when you sit and do, just observe where the sound is coming from.
But it shouldn't be coming in this in Bhastrika. It shouldn't be from the throat. The sound from this.
The sound from? Sorry, can you repeat?
In Bhastrika, the sound shouldn't come from this throat, if I do correct. Shouldn't come. Only from nose.
Yes, and that also because of the intensity, with which you are taking the breath in and out. Because of that, the sound is created, and this sound will also get less and less as you practice. So right now, in the beginning, the sound is too much. Then even this sound, it will not be too much. It will get a little bit lower as you begin, like as you go for more and more rounds.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? How's your left hand?
Now it's okay. It's like both hands are the same temperature. They are both cold.
See, so sometimes some pranayams or some breathing techniques, because they are very different, so the body has its own way of reacting. But that reaction, if it remains for a long time, or if it would have been happening with each practice, because we are changing the practices every day, then it would have, like, I would have asked you if you have any other condition or anything else which is causing this thing. But Bhastrika, like I said, it's heating practice. So today I was very positive that the temperature will not be different, right? So I think in the upcoming classes also keep observing this thing. Maybe it doesn't have to do with pranayam altogether. That might also be the case. Sometimes that also happens.
Mm. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. So take care, guys. I will see you tomorrow for philosophy, and bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care. See you
Bye bye.
tomorrow.